High snap, play action, Nichols underneath, caught, gets away from one tackler, gets away from two tacklers, down the sidelines, one man to beat, stutter step, getting away to the end zone, number 8, Dylan Talley, touchdown, Bowie.
Robertson in motion, Craven's back to pass, goes across the middle, Ghostin holds it in, he's gonna go to the touchdown, to the house, Cravens to Ghostin, Colt, touchdown!
As a tight end, pulls a guard, Barrett finds the hole, follows the pulling guard, cuts outside, bounces outside to the 20, 10, 15, 5, touchdown Bowers, touchdown Bowie!
Out of the stretch. Sky towards left center field. The wind is carrying it. Is it gone? It is! Jackson Irons with a 2-run shot over the left center field fence. He'll plate Wharton, and it's 6-4. There's still an insurance run that is about to get driven in on this base hit. Flores delivers the insurance run. Burkle out of position. They've got to pass, and they've got to go! Patomeco with the pass. Mirario has a bit of a look. Shot on goal, and he gets it in! Two tight end set here as we go to the left-hand side with B.J. Rogers. Rogers is into the second level. B.J. Rogers to midfield. One man trying to catch up to him, but he will not. Number 6 in for 6. That will do it.
This broadcast is under intellectual property and may not be repurposed or reproduced without express written consent. Enjoy this presentation from Zach Arnold Productions. Energetic Media Solutions.
It's a bright and sunny Saturday morning here at the home of the Tigers in Irving, Texas. And we are bringing you one more ball game from the Irving ISD tournament. It's the Bowie Volunteers and the Denton Broncos. Good morning, everybody. The pregame show presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services comes right after this. Don't go anywhere. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Live on YouTube, Zach the Voice here with my dad, my pops, Doug, bringing you the undefeated Bowie Volunteers, looking to stay that way on this Saturday matinee. That is just a beautiful morning for baseball. Pops, we got to cover a couple of Arlington High games yesterday while Jot Holly was on the call for these Volunteers. Now we get the privilege of seeing them in action. This is your first game for the Vols. This is my second game after the very successful broadcast against Irving Nimitz a couple of days ago. This team is off to a great start, and their chemistry is one of the things that has really impressed me so far.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this first glimpse at the Bowie Volunteer ball game. They're coming into this game 7-0, looking for win number 8. Went over to the dugout and was visiting with the boys and saying hi to them. And it was fun. They looked at me and they go, "Hey, Pops," and because they already, I guess my reputation precedes me, but it was kind of a fun greeting and a way to set up with them to get this game going today. So I'm really looking forward to watching these Bowie Volunteers play ball today.
They come in with a perfect 7-0 record after getting a 9-1 win against Garland, and then they got a 13-1 against the host MacArthur on yesterday's action. against the Cardinals and the Owls. Now they get the Broncos here today with a record of 3 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. Denton fell in their first game of tournament action yesterday, 4-2 against Fort Worth South Hills, and then tied 4-4 against Garland Naaman Forest, which is something that happens in these tournament games. But while on the third baseline, you've got a team that is fired up, ready to go, on all cylinders. You've got another team that is still possibly trying to figure out what their identity is, who they are, in the form of Denton High. It should be a really interesting game, and it's one that we're excited to call for the Bowie faithful.
Yeah, just a perfect day here. A nice little ballpark here in Irving, Tiger Yard. If you're looking down the lines, they've painted over all of the distance markers on the lines. Can't tell how big this ballpark is, but it's got a nice little rise out in the middle on the fence, and it's a nice. It's gonna be a really nice day for a ball game here at Irving Park.
North side of Irving, just off of 183. Kind of a neutral location for both teams when you think about it. Denton coming down from up north and Bowie coming from the south side of Arlington. It's a good neutral location, and it's got kind of a feel similar to the other Irving ISD schools. I think everybody got the same turf job here in the district at the same time. Reminds me of Dishfalk Field a little bit, or maybe the Rogers Center up in Toronto with the red turf that goes around the bases. Grand Prairie High has a similar turf configuration as well. So it's turf that Bowie is very familiar with, and we get a lot of familiar faces that are going to be part of the lineup for the Volunteers here today.
Well, one of the things that we're going to be watching today is the explosiveness of the Bowie offense. They've put up a lot of runs in these first 7 games, including the 9 that they put up yesterday.
9 and 13.
So they've got a good offense going. They get to start here as the visitors, the designated visitors here in this ball game. But also, in order to win games, you've got to have good defense. You've got to have good pitching.
Yes.
And so far, based on the outcomes of these 7 games, the Bowie pitching staff has been solid.
They have indeed, and it was Isaiah Henderson who got the win on the mound for Bowie in the run rule win against MacArthur yesterday. He pitched just the 5 innings necessary for the run rule victory. Had about 5 or 6 strikeouts, I can't recall, but he only allowed 1 run in the very first inning and then shut them down after that, including striking out the side per Jot Holly when he was on the call. So this team is capable of defense, and they're capable of strikeouts in bunches when they want to. So it'll be really interesting to see if they're able to fire on all cylinders in this morning's matchup. This is the 8th game broadcasted on Zap in the last 3 days. It's the 5th game being played by the Volunteers. Fatigue can sometimes play a little bit of a factor sometimes, depending on how much you're playing and how frequently you're playing. It's actually going to be the catcher, Roberto De Leon, that's going to get the start on the mound today. And so it'll be catcher pitching to catcher to start this ball game with Sanchez getting the start behind the plate. I'm really excited to see what kind of depth the Bowie pitching staff has got, because when it comes time for making a run late in district or making a run in the postseason, you need to have more than just 2 pitchers, and that's part of what Bowie is trying out here today.
Well, and I know this is the 4th game that we're going to get to broadcast for Bowie, but we're really excited to add Bowie baseball to the Sacramento Productions family this year. We debuted Bowie football, and the Bowie football team went and won their district this year.
That's true.
And now the Bowie baseball team is off to a 7-0 start. Now, I don't want to give an announcer's jinx or anything like that, but it's fun to be able to add Bowie baseball. We're going to be bringing all of the Bowie home and away district games once we get into district.
Right.
We're able to debut them some during these tournament games. We're heading out of this tournament and into 2 more tournaments next week and get the season started off right. And, it's fun to develop this relationship. Coach Johnson is excited to have us on board. Coach Crowdus, the assistant coach, and I go way back when we were teaching together in Mansfield. And then I think we both came to Arlington about the same time. And Crowdus brings a lot of energy to the field. He brings a lot of energy and excitement, hypes the kids up, but he knows his baseball too.
He does.
And so it's a great combination. Coach Johnson is apparently more cerebral, he's a little bit more reserved.
He is.
He knows the ball game. He plays the chess match, makes the moves that he needs to make, and so they really complement each other very well on this Bowie baseball team. So we're looking forward to watching. But Bowie, you mentioned before that Bowie came in. There are 4 teams in every district that go to the playoffs, and Bowie was just on the outside edge of that in spot number 5 last year.
Yep.
And I remember back. I mean, this will age me a little bit, but back when head coach Bum Phillips was in charge of the Houston Oilers, and they would knock on that door. They'd knock on that door, get into the playoffs, and then he made this famous quote. He said, "Next year we're going to knock that." And he had a little colorful expletive.
Colorful commentary.
Yeah, colorful. We're going to knock that door in next year, and that's what Bowie's looking to do this year with their baseball club.
And they're off to a really good start while they're at it. The pregame show is presented by our friends at Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. They're a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. Don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business's needs and budget. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346 or go to www.chapman-cornelius.com. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for your Bowie Volunteers as they get ready to bat here in the top of the first inning. Denton won the coin flip and will be the home team. They are doing a team prayer out in the right field line, so we're just a couple of moments away from first pitch, it feels like. Leading off for the Volunteers with a record of 7-0 on this beautiful March the 1st. Happy March, by the way, everybody. The center fielder, number 5, Jackson Turner, will bat first for the Vols. He'll be followed by the third baseman, number 11, Christian Uribe. Batting third and playing shortstop, number 9, Isaiah Henderson. Batting cleanup, first baseman, number 7, Roman Ortega. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 15, Jason Wheeler. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 4, Josh Kaber. Batting seventh, the pitcher, traditionally the catcher, but he will be on the other end of that battery today, number 12, senior Roberto De Leon. The left fielder, number 3, Alex Rojas, bats eighth, and Andrew Vega will round out the order in the DH spot wearing the number 6 jersey. For the Volunteers, he'll be DHing for today's starting catcher, number 13, Raul Sanchez. Sanchez being DH'd for and catching. Volunteers are in their blue jerseys with orange Volunteers across the chest and gray pants. The Denton Broncos have a pretty strong contingent of fans that are showing up here on this first base side. They'll be in their yellow jerseys with purple hats, kind of reminiscent of LSU's baseball jersey colors. And their defense will be as follows. Playing first base will be Medina. Playing second base will be DeLong. Groves is at third base. Perez will play short. Feltz is in left. Armour is in center. Drake is in right. Phoenix Oliver will be behind the plate for the Broncos with a season record of 3-2-2. And getting the start on the mound will be Jack Andoga. Andoga on the mound for the Broncos.
Zach, you mentioned that we just turned the calendar page to March, and the old adage is that March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. But we've got lamb-like conditions here today with a very light breeze and 70-degree temperatures and not a cloud in the sky. And you know what? March is my favorite month of the year.
Well, you do have a birthday that happens during that.
Pops will be calling a ball game on his birthday next Saturday.
Played hooky yesterday. Going to play hooky on your birthday. It must be fun to be Pops.
It is. It's fun to be Pops. And anniversary is in March. My sister's
true.
birthday is in March. And for all you teachers out there, spring break
Oh, yeah.
comes in March. So March is an outstanding month.
Well, there'll be baseball that gets played during spring break. You alluded to certain tournament coverage that is going to be taking place. We're only covering Arlington High next week, unfortunately, just due to staffing conflicts. We have a certain amount of availability for certain people, and so we're doing some test run of Bowie tournament coverage this season, and we'll see how much we can provide next year as well. But as you said, all of the Bowie home and away games for district will be covered here on ZAP, and that starts with the home opener against Grand Prairie on Tuesday, March the 11th. Our friend Yadi Pagan is in the chat, and he says, baseball doesn't get a spring break. That's very true. During what is scheduled as spring break, Arlington will play South Grand Prairie, and Bowie will have a home-and-home series against rival Sam Houston. So there will still be baseball that gets played during spring break. I want to say this game is the first of 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, ballpark of 18 to 19 games that we'll be covering on Zap in the month of March. So it's a bit of a marathon, more so than a sprint, but we're excited to have you along for it nonetheless.
You know, there's a lot to do whenever we come out to the ballpark and set up. There's a lot of behind the scenes work. We get here before the teams get here off the bus.
Very often.
Set up the equipment, and then they're back on the bus and gone while we're still breaking down.
By the time we leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so, but once we settle in and get all the electronics set up and the camera focused, now we got the new addition to the programming this year with the camera, so you can see a video action on the YouTube screen, and then the new score bug we've got. We're just Zach Arnold Productions continues to grow, and not only in personnel and game coverage, but in the technology we're able to bring the ball game to you.
This is true. The new camera that we're using today is courtesy of our friends at John Wade Roofing, which is why there's a little logo placement here on today's broadcast. It's up in the sky, it's away from the action, but we want to give our thanks to John Wade Roofing for contributing a little bit extra to help give us a quality broadcast for the entire season. And we're looking forward to utilizing that camera equipment and some of the other new equipment Pop's mentioned for the rest of this season and the rest of this calendar year. We're going to step aside for a short break, and hopefully when we come back, we'll see the teams take the field and have first pitch here in Irving, Texas. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that share button. Baseball is next.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information, and tell them Zap sent you. Zach Arnold Productions is proud to service the greater Arlington and DFW area. With experience in broadcasting, podcasting, web series, public address, marketing, and public relations, Zap can help you tackle any modern communications task. Whether you need an announcer for your sporting event or just need help proofing a press release, be sure to call 817-319-2402 to see how you can find energetic media solutions for your task with Zach Arnold Productions.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. New episodes drop monthly featuring news, reviews, discussions, and tangents on all our favorite franchises, including Marvel, DC, Star Trek, Star Wars, Stranger Things, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Dune, Godzilla, Firefly, Pixar, Doctor Who, Indiana Jones, The Last of Us, James Bond, House of the Dragon, Ghostbusters. I think you get the picture. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
Welcome back to the live view of the Irving High School ball field here from Irving, Texas on this beautiful March 1st Saturday morning. We're awaiting the Denton Broncos to take the field at this point in time. Everything is on schedule. We just seem to have a slight delay in the teams that are ready to take the ball field.
Hey, y'all, just so you know, this camera's broadcasting live. So you're just a little bit. You might be in the camera shot there.
Trying to take care of our logistics here on the ball field as we had some excited Denton fans sitting right in front of the camera and we're in the picture.
So, Pops, I finally figured out what the current delay is. We don't have officials.
That would make a difference. I used to be an umpire. I could go down and fill in. I had many, many long years as a youth league baseball umpire. Where's Stephen Hammond when you need him?
So, yeah, that does present a little bit of an issue for being able to play the game, is if you don't have somebody to call ball and strike behind the plate and out in the field. I spoke to Coach Kilday, the head coach of the Irving Tigers. He said that he's got a contact with the association who distributes umpires for these ball games, and he says they're trying to figure out where they're at. So
They went to Nimitz.
they may have gone to Nimitz. They may be caught in some kind of traffic. They may have slept in. But it looks as if Coach Kilday, Coach Tompkins, and Coach Johnson, and I think that's Coach Crowdis out there too.
Yeah, Crowdis is
Four of them are collaborating at home plate as we try to figure out what the next course of action here is. Bowie was ready to go, and Denton was ready to go. We're ready to go. The only ones not ready to go are the ones who
officiate the game.
Officiate the game for us. And
They may be talking down there about starting the game because they don't want to get too far behind in a tournament.
Right.
Because Irving High plays in the game right after this.
There is another one that is still yet to be played. So
they may
there's
put
a chance
coaches on the field to call balls and strikes.
There's a chance that Coach Kilday or some of his assistants may substitute in until the officials can get here. Because it's baseball time in Texas and here on YouTube, and we're ready to get this game underway. While they discuss, we're going to take a short programming break and be back as soon as first pitch is about to get underway. Thanks for your patience. We're being patient, waiting for an outcome on how to start this ball game. We'll be back in just a moment or two here on Zap. High snap, play action, Nichols underneath, caught, gets away from one tackler, gets away from two tacklers, down the sidelines, one man to beat, stutter step, getting away to the end zone, number 8, Dylan Talley, touchdown, Bowie.
Robertson in motion, Craven's back to pass, goes across the middle, Ghostin holds it in, he's gonna go to the touchdown, to the house, Cravens to Ghostin. Colt, touchdown!
As a tight end, pulls a guard. Barrett finds the hole, follows the pulling guard, cuts outside, bounces outside to the 20, 10, 15, 5. Touchdown, Bowers, touchdown, Bowie.
Out of the stretch. Sky towards left center field. The wind is carrying it. Is it gone? It is! Jackson Irons with a 2-run shot over the left center field fence. He'll plate Wharton, and it's 6-4. There's still an insurance run that is about to get driven in on this base hit. Flores delivers the insurance run. Burkle out of position. They've got to pass, and they've got to go! Patomeco with the pass. Miralrio has a bit of a look, shot on goal, and he gets it in!
two tight end set here as we go to the left-hand side with B.J. Rogers. Rogers is into the second level. B.J. Rogers to midfield. One man trying to catch up to him, but he will not. Number 6 in for 6. That will do it.
This broadcast is under intellectual property and may not be repurposed or reproduced without express written consent. Enjoy this presentation from Zach Arnold Productions. Energetic Media Solutions.
Fans, we appreciate your patience while we wait for an umpire. I got word from Irving's coach Kilday that the chapter that distributes umpires to Irving ISD neglected to schedule somebody for this morning's 11 a.m. contest. They are in the process of getting somebody who is on call and will have a single umpire calling this entire ball game until they're able to find a second one and bring him out. Last I spoke to Coach Kilday, there was about a 20-minute or so delay, and that was approximately 5 to 7 minutes ago. So we're hopefully looking around 11:35 to 11:40 if everything goes according to plan. Currently 11:22 local time here in Irving. We're going to step aside while we wait for this outcome, and then we will resume the pregame show in just a little bit. Thank you for your patience and for tuning in to High School Baseball on Zap. Hello again, fans. We have some music being played here at Irving High to try to appease the Bowie and Denton faithful that have made the trip. Kind of a neutral location and a beautiful facility at Tiger Yard, Pops. We're just waiting for the one person who can allow us to play baseball.
The man in blue. The umpires.
The man in the black shirt instead of the man in the yellow hat. Although the people in the yellow hat would probably be the Denton faithful. They're in their yellow jerseys with white pants and purple ball caps. Bowie is in their blue caps with blue jerseys and gray pants here today. It was originally scheduled for an 11 a.m. first pitch, probably looking at closer to 11:35 to 11:40 at this point. We will continue to hide and watch and see what happens. We were speaking to some folks here up in the press box talking about how everything had gone so smoothly here at Tiger Yard the whole tournament weekend until the 11 a.m. Saturday morning game. And I think that's a testament to the weather. We're happy to have such beautiful weather and teams that are on time and games that are running according to schedule. And then, knock on wood, hopefully this is the only thing that slows down the rest of this tournament weekend.
Well, and one of the things that you look at, you get your team warmed up and ready to play, and then there's this long delay.
Yep.
So to his credit, Coach Crowdus has taken the team out to the field, and he's going to hit some fungo just to keep their heads in the game, to keep them loosened up as we await on the officials for this game.
Well, and I saw Denton's head coach, John Tompkins, come over to talk to Coach Alex Johnston over along that third base dugout, exchanging pleasantries. I have no doubt that Denton is doing something as well to try to keep themselves loose. Looks like some fun activity going on in their bullpen, just behind the dugout there. About 7 or 8 players having some bunt practice possibly out there. So you got to do what you can to stay loose, because you go through your warm-up process. You go to the right field line, you run out to center field, you do your wind sprints, you do everything you can to be ready for action, and then you're left in your dugout for better part of a half an hour with nothing to do, and you don't want to get cold. Even though the temperature is in the mid-60s, it's going to be pushing the mid-70s by the afternoon time. There are just certain circumstances that are outside of your control. We were also talking during this little delay about how we got ourselves all set up and prepared and ready to go. We got all of our lineups. We had enough time to create a lineup graphic that was posted on social media. Like, we did everything imaginable, and we were ready to go. Pre-game show was taken care of. And then circumstances outside of your control, they take shape, they take form, and you roll with the punches as best you can. I'm glad that you didn't have anything scheduled for this afternoon. You know, having something like this on a Saturday, it does help with the Zap scheduling just a little bit. But I mean, as a whole, this is going to back up everything that's going to be happening here at Irving High for the rest of the day now. The game between the Tigers and WT White is going to be delayed, and then the game after that, and so forth. And so this is going to impact the Tigers as much as it will the Broncos and the Volunteers, because now their players have to adjust their warm-up regiment that's taking place in the batting cages.
Yeah, because they'll show up at their appointed time and see that we're still halfway through this ball game.
Right.
Which we'll get to play, and that's okay. Delays happen, mistakes are made in the umpire scheduling along the way. They didn't even have this game on their radar.
I don't think they had the whole day on their radar from what I was able to gather, which is confusing that a whole school and a whole tournament day passed by, but to err is human. And so it's just an opportunity to dish out a little bit of grace and a little bit of patience, and Bowie has found a way to stay loose. The fans are chatting amongst themselves, enjoying this beautiful weather. We get to chat amongst ourselves a little bit and just enjoy the weekend. We were mentioning that this is the 8th broadcast in the past 3 days. We did 4 games, 2 from Jot Holly and 2 from you and I for Arlington High. And then I called a triple header on Thursday, 2 solo games, and then a Thursday night game between Bowie and Nimitz.
Yeah,
So
that's the dedication that
we've been busy.
Zach Arnold Productions brings you. As Zach was out in Waxahachie to produce those 2 games out there by himself, and then he got in the car, put all the equipment away, got in the car, and drove all the way up to Irving Nimitz High School to catch the Bowie game. So
We made it
we're
just,
really busting it for your entertainment. And
just in time. Like, Jot and I got the camera set up and connected and got the broadcast going as first pitch was happening. So made it by the skin of our teeth, but we made it nonetheless. And so, yeah, we're excited to be here. We're happy to be here. We enjoy doing this. We take joy and take pride in what we do. It's just it's an interesting series of events when you think something is going to be taking place a little bit sooner than what the reality has turned out to be. But you know what? I think I would prefer this over a rain delay or a lightning delay because we know that there's going to be an end in sight.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have a lightning delay, it's indefinite, and you're waiting and you're killing time for goodness knows how long until the lightning has cleared the area. This is just a delay until we can have an official on the field, and we know that there is an official on the way. We know that this is going to happen. We know this game is going to be played. We don't have to wait to reschedule it until Monday or something, or try to cancel it or what have you. We're just waiting for official word that we can throw the first pitch and get underway.
If you know anybody out there who was planning to tune into today's ball game and wondering where it's at, shoot them a text and tell them we'll be there soon. We are tap dancing our way through the delay. We will play some baseball today. Just encourage everybody to tune back in once we get the officials on the field and the students ready to play.
Well, in the meantime, we can kind of recap how some of the other games have fared here on Zach Arnold Productions this week. We were talking about Arlington High and the Bowie Volunteers. As we were mentioning, Bowie is off to a electric 7-0 start to the season. They have a lot of seniors on their roster that are helping lead the way. And they started with a 12-0 win against Bridgeport back on the 22nd, and then beat Trimble Tech that same day by a score of 5-1. They made a makeup game against Ennis and went on the road and defeated the Lions in their house by a score of 5-2. And then during this tournament on the 27th, they won 11-2 against Naaman Forest, and then beat the Vikings in a narrow game, 3-2 the final. That game was broadcast on Zap. And then beating the Garland Owls 9-1 yesterday, and MacArthur by a score of 13-1. I think it's a testament, Pops, that Bowie has the ability to produce runs in bunches, several games in double digits, but they also have the ability to win close games, as exemplified by the 5-2 win against Ennis and their 3-2 win against Irving Nimitz. This team knows how to win by a lot, but also has found a way to win by a little.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to actually seeing them live in action today.
Yeah, this is your first Bowie game. Seeing players like Isaiah Henderson, who is kind of the leader of this team. But then you have some other seniors on the team as well, including Bryson Peltier, senior number 1, Alex Rojas, senior number 3, Josh Caber, senior number 4, Ryan Parker, senior number 8, Jaden Kitchens, senior number 10. You just keep going up and down this roster. De Leon, senior number 12, Jason Wheeler, senior number 15. There are several seniors on this team that are helping pace this group with leadership that I think has helped them be able to build chemistry because they've been playing together for several years, but it's also helping them prepare to face adversity because, as you and I both know, District 86A is not a piece of cake. You've got some stalwarts in the form of Martin and South Grand Prairie, but then everything after that can be a bit of a toss-up. You've got teams like Arlington, Lamar, these Bowie Volunteers. I've heard that Haltom is doing better this year after having a lot of youth on their roster last year. There's a lot of competition for just 2 playoff spots, and right now, off to an undefeated start, Bowie is right in the thick of it.
Yeah, and you're talking about the competitive nature of the district. When we were at Midlothian yesterday, we saw a South Grand Prairie coach in the stands watching Arlington High play.
That's true.
And so, this early in the season, they're already scouting their district opponents.
Well, and Arlington is off to a pretty good start this weekend as well. They are currently playing their game against Forney down in Midlothian High. We didn't have the people to cover that game, unfortunately. But they won one of their games yesterday in a great come-from-behind fashion. And then they won both of their games that were played out at Waxahachie High with a 4-1 win against Birdville and a 9-2 win against Rowlett. They stumbled with run production against Mansfield. They had runners in scoring position but couldn't bring them home in that 5-1 ball game. And then they trailed 3-0 against the host team Midlothian. And one swing of the bat, one home run from Gannon Howard broke open a 6-run floodgate that helped them win 6-3.
Yeah, that was a real spark in the game. The bats have been pretty silent up until that point, but Gannon muscled that ball over the left field fence and just electrified the entire team. And the offense woke up and just went nuts that whole rest of the half inning after that home run.
Yeah, they started off 0-3 with a couple of tight losses against Rockwall Heath to open the season. They were originally scheduled to play in the Central Texas First Pitch Classic down in the Round Rock area, and it's such a weird contrast from the way that the weather is today. It's cool, it's breezy, it's sunny, temperatures hovering around 70 degrees. We had a wind chill of 5 about 10 days ago.
Yeah.
About 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And coaches in the DFW area were concerned about making the trip down to the Round Rock area, canceled their travel plans, and just played games amongst themselves that weekend instead, which is what led to scheduling games against Heath and LD Bell.
You know, the transition for Zach Arnold Productions into Bowie athletics with the Bowie football team this last year and now the Bowie baseball team, it's kind of a natural transition for the partnership of ZAP. And we have a lot of connections to Bowie High School.
We do.
Your wife, your sweet wife, Edna, who is giving up a lot of time. You know, we talk about coaches' wives being widows during the season. Edna's kind of in that spot with you.
She's a broadcast widow.
She's a broadcast widow, and we appreciate her support all the time. But she's a Bowie High School graduate.
She is.
Mom the Voice opened the current Bowie High School.
She did.
She was a teacher at Sam Houston. When they opened the new Bowie, she was on the first teaching staff there. And so there's a lot of connections for us with Bowie High School. And it just makes it a real natural transition. We noticed that the Irving High School head coach is also a Bowie grad. And we were talking to him about the connections that he has. And so we're just really glad to be able to add Bowie High School athletics to the Zach Arnold Productions sports family.
Well, and all of that is a testament to the people that are tuning in right now. Without you all tuning in and supporting what we do and encouraging us to continue to grow and do more and be better than what we were the last year, it's been recognized by our sponsors that pay for the commercial breaks. You know, this service remains free because you want it to be free. And when you put eyes on the product, then the people who want to send you products pay a little bit more for the commercial breaks. And that allows us to pay people like Jot Holly, who was able to fly solo and do those 2 Bowie baseball broadcasts yesterday. We had a couple of camera issues and had to do more of a traditional radio style that day. But you still tuned in, and we still played the commercials, and we still had people that were tuning in and supporting Bowie and supporting what we do. And so we want to say thank you to them and say thank you to the people that helped make our tournament coverage possible. We've got a special designated thank you reader for that, so we will Play that now and maybe play a couple more commercials as we catch our breath and continue to wait for the official who should be here any moment. Thank you so much again for your patience as we wait for the umpire here at Tiger Yard. This is Zach Arnold Productions presented by John Wade Roofing.
Zap wants to thank the following people who helped make our tournament coverage possible. Our meal sponsors, Kristen Crocker, Nathan Gutierrez, Gloria Weber, the Madden family, the Hensley family, the Laney family, Bill and Betsy Starnes, and Armando Dercol. And our lodging sponsors, Holly Hensley Life Insurance, the PDA Advocacy Group, Lynn Wynn, Jake and Sharon Damon, the Hammond family, Patty Bustamante, and Bella and Sam Howard. A special thanks to my wife Edna, whose constant support makes all of this possible. If you appreciate our tournament coverage, please consider sending a Venmo tip to the username @ZachTheVoice and list the name of the broadcaster you want to tip in the memo.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Welcome back to Tiger Yard in Irving, Texas. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, on the call for this Irving ISD tournament ball game. Still waiting on an umpire. We found out around 10:55 that the umpires weren't here and wouldn't be here at the 11 o'clock scheduled first pitch. And so now we find ourselves kind of in a loop, as it were, going in circles, talking in circles, and making sure that we're able to bring you the action today. But we can't do so without a person out on the field to call balls and strikes, Pops.
Yep, kind of critical. We've heard that the association is going to send one umpire to this ball game. It's kind of a difficult situation. I've done that before with one umpire, especially on a field this size.
Yeah, how does that work? When the ball is put in play, the umpire has to take his mask off and go up the baseline to make the out call at first, yeah?
Actually, what you do is you charge first. You charge the pitcher's mound, and you get a better angle on what's happening at first base. If you're behind that runner, you're not going to see a good angle. So you charge the pitcher's mound, and that way you can make a call at virtually any base.
So what about stolen base attempts? You just have to try and eyeball it from behind the plate?
Absolutely. That's the best you can do. At that point, you stand still so that your eyes aren't bouncing and try and do the very best you can. We can make calls like that from up here. It looks like we may have an umpire. No, somebody's just hollering at a parent.
They're just waving at a parent.
The Bowie baseball team is all gathered around having some fun. There we are. We're greeting all the parents in the stands or the different players.
I have no doubt that this stand will erupt whenever the umpire does arrive.
I thought that's what was happening down there. They had seen the umpire around the corner and come into the yard, but not the case at this point. But
bamboozling us, fam.
A single umpire could also stand behind the home plate area and call balls and strikes from the middle of the field.
Okay. So there's a couple of options. You could call balls and strikes from behind the pitcher's view so that you're in position to make a play on the field. Do they ever alternate, or do they stay in that one position for the duration of the game?
In that particular scenario, they'd stay in that position for the whole game.
So even if nobody's aboard, they're still calling balls and strikes from behind the pitcher.
Correct. Yeah. That way they don't have their gear on and having to run out with the gear on all the time, and there's not as much motion for that one umpire.
That makes sense.
And so very likely would see somebody just park themselves behind the pitcher's mound to make the ball and strike count, and the outs on the field bases. It's just a little more challenging all the way around, but it can be done.
It's feasible.
And you give that umpire a lot more grace.
Oh, of course.
Again, because you just don't. We try not to complain about the umpiring ever, but in that particular case, give them a little extra measure of grace.
I think at this point, we just want to play baseball. So if we have one person, we will play ball.
Yeah, Coach Crowdis is
With
down
that
there
one
keeping
person.
the boys loose.
You can kind of see it off to your corner of the view here. We're trying to zoom out a little bit, give you a wider angle so that you can see more of the field. We'll zoom back in when it's time for play to resume, but we do appreciate your patience here at Tiger Yard in Irving, Texas. We appreciate Coach Kilday for putting us up in the press box. We're shaded, we're out of the sunlight. It's not creating a glare on our computer screens. We're in a good position here at Irving High, and so we appreciate their hospitality, because if we had been in a delay in a situation other, then it would definitely be a little bit harder to put on this production as we're doing right now.
Yeah, and the way this ballpark is configured, there's really no place to put up our tent and table.
Correct.
And so this is
There's
the most logical
there's
place.
a little bit of
Tiny
area
bit of space
between the dugout and the grandstands here. It may fit our table, but this is definitely, in my opinion, the best seat in the house.
Yeah, optimal position, good placement for the camera resting on the desk here inside the press box. Everybody's just standing around waiting.
Looks like the two dugouts are tossing the ball back and forth from first base dugout to third base dugout.
I think they're writing messages on it. And it's like
Sending-
message in a bottle, but with a
Sending-
baseball.
Passing notes in class, but you're passing them across the diamond.
Baseball players can be so creative in the ways they find to have fun. We've noticed that we love the liveliness of a dugout when they start chanting. Last night in one of the ball games, we had the Florida State Tomahawk Chop
Yes, we did.
chant going on for a good couple of innings.
Now, Denton is calling for the ball back, and they're saying, wait a minute.
Kind of funny to watch.
What if we
Kinda
resorted
funny.
to providing play-by-play of the inactivity that's
That's right.
happening at the ball field here today? I guess you got to do play-by-play for everything at this stage in the game.
Well, we want to. There
There
goes.
goes the ball being sent across the yard, and we'll see what it says.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're writing on an old baseball that they use for fungo, and they're sending messages back and forth from one dugout to the other. Denton's all gathered around it now.
That's fantastic.
Foster's good sportsmanship between the two teams. The Bowie team is waiting with great anticipation to get the message back. There it goes.
And here comes the ball.
This is great.
While they continue to have a little bit of fun, we'll continue to get ready for first pitch as soon as the umpire arrives. Teams will take the field, but we're going to take a short break for our voices so that they are rested up and good to go for when first pitch finally does happen. Thank you again for your patience while we wait for an umpire here at Tiger Yard. This is Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. Welcome back to Tiger Yard, home of Irving High School. Pops has stepped out onto the landing of the press box here to look out into the parking lot behind us. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but there is suspicion that perhaps an official has made its way to the ballpark here at Irving High. That prospect definitely exciting to many here, and I have no doubt a loud round of applause will commence whenever that does become an official confirmation. First pitch was originally scheduled for 11 a.m. here, and we approach the 12 o'clock hour, which will push all the other tournament games back by nearly an hour. But I do see the starting pitcher for the Broncos back in his bullpen warming up. Denton is the designated home team for this matinee ball game. Jack Andoga taking his warm-up pitches for the men in yellow. Boys in blue, the Bowie Volunteers, blue jerseys with cursive orange volunteer across the chest, are also trying to stay loose. They are the designated visitors here today. Don't Stop Believin' plays over the loudspeakers as we continue to hope and believe that an umpire will be here at some point today for this ball game. Nearly an hour-long delay due to miscommunication and human error, which is something that happens to everybody. But it is unfortunate for the people that took time out of their day to come out to the ballpark and support these young men, for the broadcasters that came out to support them on the air. Of course, a day at the ballpark is still better than a day at work, but it is Saturday, so maybe we could have spent Saturday elsewhere, but we choose to leg this one out with you as high school baseball continues to have twists and turns and surprises. But we appreciate everybody's patience as we get ready to bring you some high-flying baseball action as soon as humanly possible. If you are a subscriber, like our friend Yadi Pagan is, you can subscribe to the channel and join the chat here on YouTube. We will field your questions while we wait. Send us questions, send us conversation topics, send us a comment, send us a shout out to your favorite Bowie baseball player, something to help us pass the time. Maybe send in a request to the DJ, see if he'll play something over the loudspeakers. We just had Don't Stop Believin'. We've got Mr. Blue Sky by the Electric Light Orchestra going now. Who knows what could be next? But we would love for those of you tuning in to join the chat, help us pass the time. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know who you're cheering for. We did pass our information over to the Denton High faithful, so maybe you're a Bronco fan up in Denton that couldn't make the trip down to Irving High, and you want to see how your squad fares against Bowie High. Regardless, we're excited to have you along and have you as a part of high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. Of course, we're not in Irving right now, but I'm sure they take care of other parts of the DFW Metroplex as well as needed. John Wade Roofing joined this brand when it was still the voice of Colt Varsity before we became Colt Varsity Productions and eventually evolved into Zach Arnold Productions. If you believe in something, put your own name on it, sign your own name to it, and that's exactly what I did. And it also allows us to expand our coverage so that we don't just have to cover Colt Varsity, but we can cover Bowie Varsity as well. We did some Sam Houston home games during the football season as well, so we cover multiple teams in Arlington ISD and look for opportunities to continue to grow. As Pops mentioned once before, This is a natural step in our evolutionary process. Given the connections that we have to the Bowie community, Yadi Pagan is very involved in what goes on at Bowie Athletics, PA announcer for baseball, for football, for basketball. Seems as if the man almost lives there, and he's a very good friend of ours, setting us up with space in the press box at the ballpark at Bowie. And then my wife, Edna, a 2012 graduate of Bowie High. Mom, Patsy, who's a producer and sometimes a voice on what we do here, helped open Bowie High School. So lots of connections, lots of ties, lots of history involving Zap and Bowie High. And being a UT Arlington graduate myself, I can't help but be a little bit amenable to the blue and orange color scheme that the Vols have. It's a very sharp, very clean look as Pops has made his return from the awning on the veranda here. Pops, you left me hanging there.
I did. I feel a bit of like a voyeur spying on what's going on in the parking lot, but I can confirm we do have an umpire in the parking lot, but he's completely changing his clothes. He showed up with his uniform on a hanger, and he's out in the far corner of the parking lot, literally changing clothes, putting his pants on, etc. But we do have an umpire on site. So text your friends, call your relatives, tell them baseball is on the way today.
12:02 Central Time here in Irving. Over an hour has elapsed, and still not a single pitch has been played, but it is imminent. Teams continue to warm up. Teams continue to stretch. We'll continue to wait. Hopefully when we come back, we'll be able to resume talking about starting lineups and starting defense, because it's been an hour since we last talked about it. We'll let you know who those players are and how to prepare for the game when we come back. The delay is almost over, and it's almost baseball time in Irving, Texas. Zap, we'll be right back. A round of applause that took place for the umpire that has made his way into Tiger Yard in full regalia, so he will be calling from behind home plate. But we have an umpire, and we have baseball on its way.
Both coaches coming out to visit with the umpire at home plate, exchanging lineups officially, bringing some baseballs for him to use in case we get some foul balls here today. You know we'll get more than one or two of those.
As long as it doesn't go towards our new camera, that's more than fine.
I think we got plenty of netting here, and it'd have to be quite an arching trajectory.
And it would have to probably bounce, which would give
Uh-huh.
us time to deflect
Shield
it.
Yep. I think we're good.
Okay, well, now that we actually have an umpire and we can talk about starting lineups and defense, let's review the starters for this Saturday matinee ball game between the 7-0 Bowie Volunteers and the 3-win, 2-loss, 2-tie Denton Broncos. Bowie is the visitor for this neutral location ball game, and it'll be the center fielder, number 5, Jackson Turner, leading things off for the Vols. Batting second and playing third base, number 11, Christian Uribe. Batting third and playing shortstop, number 9, Isaiah Henderson. Batting cleanup and playing first base, number 7, Roman Ortega. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 15, Jason Wheeler. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 4, Josh Caber. Batting seventh, the pitcher for the Vols today, usually behind the plate. He'll be the opposite end of the battery today. Number 12, Roberto De Leon. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 3, Alex Rojas. Rounding out the order is the designated hitter, number 6, Andrew Vega. He will be batting in place of today's starting catcher, number 13, Raul Sanchez. Defensively for Denton at first base, Diego Medina. At second base, Riker DeLong. At third base, Zachariah Groves. At shortstop, Derek Perez. In left field, Cooper Feltz. In center field, Alden Armour. And in right field, Jack Drake. Behind the plate, number 13, Phoenix Oliver. And the starter for the Broncos today, number 21, Jack Andoga. Andoga on the mound for the Broncos. Zach Arnold, my pops, Doug, excited to be on the call. It is finally baseball time in Texas. Better late than never, they say, right, Pops?
Yes, sir. Denton is out there on the field. You can see on your camera, Denton is on the field getting their warm-ups in. The Bowie Volunteers are taking their warm-up swings in the on-deck circle. Looks like Coach Johnson's going to go down and coach at first base. Head coach taking position at the first base line.
It is a little unusual. You usually see the varsity assistant along first base, so the head coach can be close to the dugout if he needs. Coach Johnson, in his second year at the helm of the Volunteers, working on changing and establishing a new culture at Bowie High, and that new culture has them off to a 7-0 start, looking for an 8-0 start to this season here today. We're ready for first pitch. As number 5, Jackson Turner digs into the right-handed batter's box. A loud round of applause from the Denton and Bowie faithful that made their way in. A strike is issued and we are underway. Jack Andoga, 21 on the mound with an 0-1. He'll deliver low and away to bring the count even at a ball and a strike. Got the inside corner there for a called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A single umpire behind the plate calling behind the plate and in the field. And that's an easy call there as Turner's jersey was grazed, and he will lead off this ball game with a trip to first base on an HBP.
That was a curveball, and Douglas was trying to break off that hung inside and plunked Turner in the left ribs.
So Medina will cover him over at first base. His leadoff goes to the edge of the brown turf that goes around the base. First pitch swinging for Christian Uribe.
On deck batter Isaiah Henderson retrieving that foul ball, heading back to his on deck circle spot.
The unequivocal leader of this Bowie roster is number 9. Bunt is squared up for and pulled back as a ball is called inside. Oliver jumped up and feigned to Medina at first, but did not complete the throw. Next pitch. That one's in play, headed for right field. It's playable and grabbed by the right fielder Drake for out number 1. So one away here early in this ball game. Scheduled for an 11 a.m. first pitch. Away just after 12. Hit that share button. We've got live action here at Tiger Yard as Henderson takes a look at strike 1, grazing the outside corner of the zone. Runner goes. The throw is a little bit wide, and it's a clean steal for Jackson Turner. 1 ball, 1 strike at the plate, says the umpire. So now Turner in scoring position early in this ball game. And that'll be a foul. That results in strike number 2 to Henderson. Henderson was the starting pitcher in the game against MacArthur, gave up just 1 run in the first inning and then shut down the Cardinals after that, en route to an emphatic 13-1 5-inning run rule victory. Struck out the side in the second inning, en route to a total of 5 Ks on the day, I believe. Well, his defense did the rest. That's another foul. You can tell the kind of power he has, Pops, that if that's a foul ball that dribbles halfway up the baseline,
yeah,
how much more distance would it have had if it had not been a foul first? 1 ball and 2 strikes to Henderson. Turner led off with a hit by pitch and stole second. And he's going for third. Hit and run, and he'll rip that one foul. Karam's off of some of the wall plating along the third base line there. Coach Crowdis will retrieve the foul ball from Feltz. Henderson digging back in and will resume the 1-2. Andoga will have the check down over to second. Courtesy tag is applied. Pops, it's so interesting watching the home plate umpire trying to keep an eye on what's going on at the plate while also watching the maneuvers going on in the field. Delivery home. That's going to the gap, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Henderson sending it all the way to the wall. Turner's rounding third, and Bowie strikes first. He's going for third as well. The play is going to be not in time. Henderson will be out at third. Got a little too far and then slipped past the bag as well. So even if he had been safe on the initial contact, he lost touch of the bag, and that will be the second out.
But the first run.
First run is across. It's 1-0 Bowie on the double. And that is a taco tally. All first runs of the game scored by the Vols are the taco tally presented by Taqueria Taco Express. Visit any of their 4 locations on Taco Tuesday for their $10 meal special. We'll count that as a double to left center.
Double and a put out at third.
And then out at third
but still great power to send that ball all the way to the alley.
Ortega, the next man up, he'll dribble this one to second base. DeLong will send it to Medina for the 4-3 putout, and the top of the first is over, but not before Bowie gets one across. They lead it 1 with the Broncos coming up to the plate. We'll let you know their starting lineup and Bowie's defense when we come back. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com. If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Welcome back to Tiger Yard. Bowie strikes first with a run on the RBI double by Isaiah Henderson to left center. He'll get the start at shortstop. But first, the starting lineup for the Denton Broncos out of District 6-5A with a record of 3 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. Leading off and playing shortstop number 2, Derek Perez. Batting second and playing third base, Zachariah Groves. Batting third and playing first base, Diego Medina. Batting cleanup and catching, Phoenix Oliver. Batting fifth in left field, Cooper Feltz. Batting sixth in center field, Alden Armour. Batting seventh and playing second base, Riker DeLong. Batting eighth in right field, Jack Drake. And the designated hitter today, number 24, Jace Robinson, batting for the pitcher, Jack Andoga. Defensively, for the Bowie Volunteers, over at first base is Ortega. At second base, it's Caber. Uribe locking down the hot corner. Henderson, as we mentioned, at shortstop. Rojas will be in left. Turner is in center, and Wheeler is in right. The regular starter, Roberto De Leon, usually behind the plate, will get the start at pitcher. This one is away to Perez for ball 1. His battery mate is the young man that's going to be DH'd for in today's contest. It's number 13, Raul Sanchez. All 2 away here. Ortega, a right-handed thrower. Correction. Well, yeah, he does throw right-handed, but the right-handed pitcher, De Leon, delivers a strike there to make it 2-1. Swing and a miss for 2-2.
Looking at the Bowie defensive alignment, their outfielders are all playing pretty shallow out there in the outfield.
Well, the wind is coming in from center field, which is making some of those fly balls catch in the air a little bit. It's making it stall. Ball number 3 comes in a little bit too low to the leadoff man, Perez, who has worked the count full. De Leon with the payoff pitch. And he lost him. It's a leadoff walk for Derek Perez, the shortstop. Historically, Pops, the first few people in your lineup are either your heaviest hitters or have the best on-base percentage, and Derek Perez proves that trend correctly, getting aboard here with a leadoff walk. That'll take us to Zachariah Groves, third baseman today. Ortega covering first as a strike is called on the bunt attempt. Uribe coming in up the third baseline as that bunt was squared up for. It'll be 0-1. Bunt is squared up for again. Uribe up the baseline.
Broncos definitely showing they want to play small ball today.
He does pull back and fouls that one off, though. It'll be 0-2, and now Groves will have to defend the plate. Check swing goes into foul territory behind the batter's circle. I'm surprised that Sanchez's catcher's helmet fits over his head with all those curly locks coming out of it, Pops.
Lots of hair going on there.
Surprised his name isn't Samson.
Or Troy Polamalu.
Polamalu. Yeah. He definitely uses a good bit of head and shoulders.
A little check over at first base. De Leon to Ortega, and runners back safely.
Low and away, but backhanded there by the catcher Sanchez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, number 23, Diego Medina. First baseman for the Broncos today. The 1-2 is fouled off out of play. A little bit late on the swing there was the righty hitter. It'll go to the right of the fence that barriers Tiger Yard here. Kind of a little bit of 20 feet of no man's land between that and the structure to our right. Another check down over to first. Not even a tag applied, just trying to keep the runner honest. De Leon delivers home. In play to second. Caber over to Henderson. Fires to first, and they get the 4-6-3. So the leadoff walk is eliminated. 4-6-3 GDP makes it 2 away for Diego Medina. I love a well-executed double play, Pops. That was a fun one to watch unfold.
That was very, very cleanly turned.
Chipped into the glove for a strike. Mom's finally tuning in, going, there you are. Yes, we finally have live action as the ball is delivered too low. Two and one the count now. Base is clear, 2 away. And a strike finds the low inside corner. Good placement by De Leon. It's 2-2.
De Leon consistently working ahead in the count so far in this ballgame. Good sign for him.
Sanchez finally gives him a pitch that he wants, but Medina got tired of waiting. If he should find a way aboard, the catcher Phoenix Oliver is on deck, but he's got his knee pads on just in case. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And it's an unconventional 1-2-3 half inning, but De Leon gets a strikeout and gets a double play from the defense behind him, and we're through 1. It's a 1-0 lead for the Volunteers. We'll be right back with more high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing, right after this.
Zap wants to thank the following people who helped make our tournament coverage possible. Our meal sponsors, Kristen Crocker, Nathan Gutierrez, Gloria Weber, the Madden family, the Hensley family, the Laney family, Bill and Betsy Starnes, and Armando Dercol. And our lodging sponsors, Holly Hensley Life Insurance, the PDA Advocacy Group, Lynn Wynn, Jake and Sharon Damon, the Hammond family, Patty Bustamante, and Bella and Sam Howard. A special thanks to my wife Edna, whose constant support makes all of this possible. If you appreciate our tournament coverage, please consider sending a Venmo tip to the username @ZachTheVoice and list the name of the broadcaster you want to tip in the memo.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
We got one additional shout out that was made after that thank you commercial was recorded. The Peltier family wanted to shout out their senior on the Bowie baseball team, number 1, Bryson. Best of luck this season. Thank you to the Peltiers for supporting their senior and for supporting our program. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, on the call for the final ball game Bowie will participate in for the Irving ISD tournament. Off to a 1-0 start as we head to the second inning. Very often they score runs in bunches, Pops, so it's actually a little surprising they only got 1 on the board in that previous inning. But we'll see if it can spark something for them here as number 15, Jason Wheeler, the 5th hitter in the lineup, will dig in here in the top of the second.
Wheeler playing right field for the Vols this afternoon. Fouls this one back behind the press box here for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Caber on deck for the Vols. Roberto De Leon, the pitcher, in the hole. 1-0 Bowie. First batter of this second inning. And Doga winds and delivers. Swung on and hit down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be in trouble. But it hits about 10 feet foul.
And I think the wind pushed that one, Pops, because that did look like trouble on contact. And then the curvature combined with the wind pushed it out of play.
We have a really good angle here in the press box at Tiger Yard. It looked better than it ended up. 1-2. Swung on and hit to center field this time. Lofted in the air. Amor goes back, camps under it, and hauls it in for out number 1. F8 on that first out of the inning.
Yeah, and Armour didn't really have to move all that much either. He was in a good position for that kind of contact going into that kind of wind.
That'll bring up the Bowie second baseman, Josh Caber, for his first appearance at the plate this afternoon. It is afternoon now.
It is an afternoon now.
We were supposed to start in the morning. We had a little bit of a delay getting some officials here to the field. We have one now. We have one umpire on the ball field taking care of all of the officiating.
That's a pretty big responsibility.
It is. I've done it before. Swung on and hit down the third baseline foul. Coach Crowdis goes over to corral that one for us. And Doga has a ball on the mound, and he's ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch. Woo. Looked at for ball 1. And Doga's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, curved balls. That one curved a little bit too soon, was a little bit low. 1-1 count. The wind and the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit right at the shortstop. He ducks down just a little bit, and that's an F6.
Shoot.
For the second out of the inning. That ball was exactly where Derek Perez was standing. He didn't have to move at all.
I would almost call that an L6 considering how straight that one was.
2 outs in the inning now. That'll bring up Roberto De Leon, the pitcher, who's off to a good start in today's ball game. On the mound, facing his counterpart. That curveball hits the inside corner for strike 1. 2 outs, nobody on. The 0-1 delivery. A little bit high for this umpire.
Yeah, Phoenix Oliver caught that one on the upper end of the zone and then tried to bring his glove down to frame it as if it was in the zone. This umpire's not having that.
1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Taking a big cut there is De Leon. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Oh man, Perez was ready to run to the dugout, but a ball is called there.
Some of the Denton fans gave out a whoa, thinking that one had caught the corner. But it's even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Curveball again, swung on and missed. He was out in front of it, and that sets him down on a swinging strike to end the inning. No runs, no hits that inning for the Balls as they go up and down 1, 2, 3. We're going to step aside and take a little break here between innings. This is high school baseball on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Welcome back live to Tiger Yard in Irving, Texas for this tournament game between the Bowie Volunteers and the Denton Broncos. Bowie up 1-0 at this point in the ball game as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The Broncos will send up their 4, 5, 6 batters this inning. Phoenix Oliver will lead off. He's the catcher. Cooper Phelps on deck. Alden Amor, the center fielder, is in the hole. Roberto De Leon on for his second inning of work. First delivery is swung on and missed. Big cut there by the batter, Oliver.
He's in the cleanup spot. Usually the 3, 4, and 5 spots in the lineup have some of the biggest swings.
That delivery's a little bit low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second inning. De Leon's wind hits the proverbial dirt in front of the plate. Bounces past the catcher to the backstop. Very medium-sized backstop here at Tiger Park. For those of you that play, not as far as Bowie's backstop on their home field or Lamar. That pitch missed.
Bowie, Lamar, and Sam Houston all have some of the deepest backstops I've ever seen.
3 balls and 1 strike to count to the leadoff batter, Oliver. And that one's up and over Oliver's head, and he delivers a walk.
Well, we know what happened the last time a walk was issued.
Got a double play.
Knock on wood.
Got a courtesy runner coming in, number 18 for the Broncos.
That'll be infielder Jacob Turner. Turner now running at first for the Broncos.
Next at bat, number 1, Cooper Phelps, the left fielder in today's ball game, with a runner at first. Out in this early part of the bottom of the second inning. De Leon comes set and goes over to first, checks it there. Ortega applies the tag, but the runner Oliver back safely. Pitch coming from the square to bunt, and he offers at it and misses for strike 1. Broncos still looking to play some small ball here, trying to advance that runner to second base into scoring position. Phelps just couldn't put bat on ball that time. Squares up to bunt once again. Another throw over to first base. Remember, we have one official on the field, so the home plate umpire is doing his best to make the calls 90 feet away. But that throw to first base was a safe on the runner. Pitch. Again, the bunt is squared and offered at and missed. Count runs to no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you know, in this early stage of the season, Pops, you're still trying to get into the swing of playing somebody other than your teammates, for one, and then learning some of these fundamentals like bunting procedures.
Phelps is already squared, and he fouls that one off, and he is out. A bunted foul ball with 2 strikes is an out for the first out of this inning.
Does that count as a strikeout then?
Yes.
So that'll be strikeout number 2 for De Leon.
Runner remains at first base, 1 out now. Center fielder Armour steps up to the plate. First appearance for the afternoon.
Lovely breeze coming right into our faces here. You get a little more protection than I do. Pops' window is closed. Mine is open, sitting next to the camera viewer here.
First pitch, curveball that catches that inside corner for strike 1.
Nature's air conditioning.
It's a beautiful day here to play ball. Yeah, the guys are playing. We're watching.
What's that song by Chicago? Saturday in the Park?
Saturday.
No, I didn't ask you to sing.
Oh, sorry. Focus. Play at the first base, and very close play that time, but the home plate umpire says he is back in there safely.
It's a good quick tag there by Ortega.
Oliver getting a good lead over there, getting the attention of the catcher Sanchez and the pitcher.
Well, that is
De Leon throwing over
that's
there.
the runner Turner over there coming in for him.
True. Pitch home is outside for ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on the batter Armour. De Leon really focused on keeping that runner, Turner, close to the bag. Oh, we have another official.
The second umpire has arrived on the scene as fans are cheering, players are clapping. We have a 2-man crew in the second inning.
That'll certainly take the pressure off that home plate umpire quite a bit.
Catches the field official up to speed. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
Leon throws to first again. Safe once again. Another good close play over there.
Welcome to the ball game, ump. You have to make a call as soon as you get into position.
Exactly. No wasting time here. Oliver getting a lead off there. The pitch is coming home. He's taking off. The ball gets past the catcher. Back to the plate. He's going to go to third as Sanchez has difficulty locating the baseball. Runner makes it all the way over to third on the pass ball.
Strike 2 at the plate as Armour went around.
Runner at third. 1 ball, 2 strike count. 1 out in the inning.
Tying run 90 feet away now.
Leon's pitch. Going away for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Batter Armour in his first appearance this afternoon. Oliver at third, just 90 feet away. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He drops the ball, but the catcher, Sanchez, tosses it down to first base. Runner does not try to advance. Second strikeout for De Leon.
So Turner will have to go back to third base, the courtesy runner for Oliver. And there's 2 away now, which will make it a little bit tougher for Riker DeLong.
Riker DeLong stepping into the left-handed batting box, holding down second base for the Broncos this afternoon. De Leon taking a long look in. De Leon and he finally calls time and wants to communicate with his catcher, make sure they have their signals correct.
Well, the backstop has proven to be deep enough and have a carom enough that if a runner was already in the process of stealing second, he could advance another base, as Turner just exemplified. You want to make sure that you know exactly what pitch to expect and where to expect it so that you don't have another pass ball.
First pitch coming to DeLong. Swung on and tipped into the glove of Sanchez, strike one. The 0-1 delivery. Low and inside. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Test of Bowie's defense here to try to leave the runner stranded at third.
1-1 pitch is a curveball
What
that
a
drops in that
pretty
outside corner.
pitch. Good placement there by De Leon.
Looping curveball catches DeLong flat-footed. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. 2 outs in the inning. Trying to keep that runner at third. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and hit to center field. Turner is going to take off after it. Drift to his right a little bit and pulls it in for the F8 and the end of the inning. And the Bowie Volunteers do strand that runner at third base.
Big strikeout to force 2 outs on the field of play and then get the fly out to harmlessly end the inning. To the third we go, and the third inning is presented by our friends at Eka Signs. Located in the heart of Arlington, they offer same-day production on certain rush orders while offering a wide catalog of custom printed materials. Call 817-617-2229 to find out how Eka Signs can help your brand's visibility. We'll be right back.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Romy Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Romy Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
PDA Advocacy Group would like to remind you that autism is a wide spectrum of neurological differences and it's on the rise, now affecting 1 in 36 Americans and more cases found in males. Those with autism have trouble with social interactions, communication, and can engage in repetitive or self-harming behaviors. While the causes of autism are still being researched, we can begin to learn more by visiting nationalautismassociation.org.
To the third inning we go here in Irving, Texas. Left fielder Alex Rojas already in the batter's box, ready to go, facing Jack Andoga. He'll take a cut and can't connect on the first pitch he sees for strike number 1. Very excited to finally be playing this ball game after an hour-long delay waiting for an official. Bowie hit the ground running with an RBI double to left center by Isaiah Henderson. And that is the margin right now here in the third inning. Couple of balls on the outside part of the zone. The left fielder with a good eye. He'll be followed by the designated hitter, Andrew Vega, who is the designated hitter today. And then we'll get back to the top of the order in Jackson Turner. This one will get fouled out of play. Run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Temperatures hovering around 70 degrees with a gentle breeze that's kind of swirling, but mostly coming inward from center field. This one's up, and it's playable for Oliver, and he'll make the catch behind the circle for the FO2. Unfortunately, too much of the top of the bat there making contact, and it goes straight up in the air. Rojas is retired, and that'll take us to Vega. Batting in place of the catcher, Raul Sanchez, today. Swings and misses for a strike. Looping curveball that does not hook into the zone the way De Leon's did in the previous half inning. That's a ball. Andoga decides to step off the back of the rubber.
A little bit of a communication problem between the catcher, Oliver, and the dugout.
Allen's sharply hit up the third baseline, but will go foul.
Oliver was giving a swirling hand sign to the dugout, trying to get them to update the pitch count. They use electronic devices now between the dugout and the catchers, and Oliver was asking for some clarification.
Walkie-talkie with an earpiece. 1-2, swung on and swung through. Doga's second K as he makes his way through the lineup, and we'll go back to the top of the order in number 5, Jackson Turner. He was hit by a pitch, stole second, and then was driven in on the double by Henderson, scoring the game's only run so far. That curveball drops in, and that'll be a called strike 1 to Turner.
That ball seems to take about 3 days to get from the pitcher to the plate.
Felt like it.
It's a slow looping curve.
Swung on and missed. Quickly, 0-2.
Gives a really good contrast and keeps the batters off their feet, because the difference between the fastball and that looping curveball could really throw the batters off.
Turner gets a piece of this one, and it's headed for left field, and it's snagged by Feltz. Good job with the closing speed there by the left fielder, and Bowie goes down in order. It's a very quiet 1-2-3 inning for this electric Bowie offense. It may be one of those games where runs are at a premium, and so far, Bowie's got the only one. To the bottom of the third we go. It's high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions. This broadcast is the intellectual property of Zach Arnold Productions. Any use of their multimedia, including audio, video, images, and other content, may not be repurposed without prior express consent of Zach Arnold Productions. We thank you for your cooperation and for tuning in to tonight's broadcast.
Welcome back to Tiger Yard, bottom of the third, as De Leon returns to the mound. Bowie defense looking to back him up. It'll be the 8-9-1 in the Denton order now. Jack Drake, the right fielder, Jace Robinson, the DH, and then back to the top of the order in Derek Perez.
Got us a little bit of a pitching duel going on so far. 1 run on the board for the Bowie Volunteers. The Broncos able to get a runner as far as third, but not able to bring him home.
Which is a credit to De Leon getting that strikeout to force 2 outs so that the Bowie defense can back him up for out number 3. Right fielder number 16 swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. De Leon nods in agreement on the pitch he wants, and he'll drop it into the zone for a called strike. I love when a pitcher nods his head knowing exactly what he wants to throw, and he puts it exactly where he wants it.
And again, De Leon ahead in the count here, jumping out ahead in the count more often than not so far today.
This one's in play over the head of Henderson and will drop into shallow left for a base hit. Good, clean swing by Drake. Puts it where the Bowie defense is not.
Yeah, just right in that hole between Isaiah Henderson at short and Rojas in left field. Perfectly placed single.
But a good pickup by Rojas to prevent further damage. It's just a single. And that'll take us to the designated hitter, Jace Robinson. Bunt is being squared up for as Uribe creeps up. Check down over to first. Ortega doesn't even apply the tag as that one was delivered a little bit high to him there. But interesting that the designated hitter is trying to play small ball here. He'll offer and pull back, and ball one will be issued.
Yeah, Denton definitely showing signs here early in the ball game that they're ready to play small ball to try and push runners along.
Ready and willing.
Not making any contact
I was about to
yet.
say able is still to be determined.
Correct.
Strike is issued here even though Robinson pulled back, so De Leon finds the outside corner to bring it to 1-1.
They registered an actual strikeout against Cooper Phelps in the last inning when he bunted foul on the third strike. So they haven't made good contact on that bunt yet. Again, early part of the season, this is the time to...
Still the time to learn and to get those reps in so that you're good to go for district season. This one is laid down, and it's going to be a slow roller. Only play is to first, and the sacrifice is successful.
That was a beautiful bunt. It got out in front of the plate and died in the turf right outside the batter's circle, moving the runner along as they wanted to. One out in the inning and a runner in scoring position.
1-3 sack BU for those of you that keep a scorebook at home. I know not many of you do, but it's just good repetition for us, too, to make sure that we've got our affairs in order, too. Top of the order in the shortstop, Derek Perez. He walked to start the batting sequences for the Broncos. And he'll take a look at a ball too low here, bouncing into the turf before it crosses home plate. Perez got tired of waiting. He'll call time. Another bunt. This one's going to get away from the catcher. The throw to third is too late. Was he moving on the pitch, Pops? I think he was.
I think he got the attention of the catcher, Sanchez, and took his eye off that ball, let it trickle away from him just a little bit. Runner moves along to third on the play.
I'm inclined to give him a stolen base. I think he was moving on the pitch. That one is wide for ball number 3. Perez one pitch away from another base on balls. And it will be issued. Runners on the corners now with one out. Tying run 90 feet away. Sanchez issuing new instructions to his defense as we make our way to Zachariah Groves. Grounded into a double play his last at bat. The double play potential is in effect here with that runner at first.
De Leon worked himself into a bit of a spot here. Let's see if he can work out of it.
A little one-out jam with Ortega covering first base. That tailing pitch tails away from the zone for a ball. Bunt is squared up for, and it will go foul.
We saw a very exciting bunt sacrifice, suicide squeeze
yeah.
yesterday's ball game. Very exciting play. They say in baseball that the triple is the most exciting play, but I dare say, I would say the suicide squeeze. Very exciting point in yet one of the games we called yesterday.
So that foul brings about strike number 1 at the plate. Pulls back and is swinging here. Runner goes, but he will only make it to second. Runner at third stays put in Jack Drake. So Perez advances 2 men in scoring position now for the Broncos with 1 out. Infield moves to the lip of the interior. And that's past the outstretched arm of Henderson, and the game is tied. Single to center field. That puts runners on the corners. And it is a brand new ball game, 1-1 on the RBI by Groves. Medina struck out his last at bat, and he'll take a look at a strike here. Perez makes it to third on the base hit. So it's Perez at third, Groves at first for the first baseman, Medina. Check down to first. Not even a courtesy tag, though.
Puts pressure on Ortega to make sure he keeps that one in his glove with a runner at third base, just 90 feet away from scoring.
Suicide squeeze squared up for. They're going to keep the runner at third. They're going to try and go that way, and it goes wide of Uribe. But the third baseman will have to stay put. So they did not make the throw to first, and the bases are loaded.
Interesting play. It looked like De Leon was going to go to first initially, and then he wheeled and turned to third, trying to catch that runner off base there, and he was back safely.
Just an infield single then, I suppose.
Yep.
With the bases loaded for Phoenix Oliver, who walked in his last at-bat.
This does give the Volunteers the situation with the bases loaded where they could turn another double play.
Or get the force at home.
Yep, so they'll be coming in to the inside line. There's not dirt out there for a lip of the grass, but infield will be playing in, trying to get that force run at home.
Back to the traditional windup goes De Leon now. And that one will get fouled straight back by Oliver. Brand new ball game, tied at 1 apiece here in the bottom of the third. Denton executing some small ball and then some throws that went a little bit wide, like the one over to third by De Leon. And that one will tail into the bottom half of the zone for a called strike. Working ahead in the count again is De Leon, 0-2. Up. In play for Sanchez and out of play. We'll go behind that first base dugout. He took a look at it. De Leon came to help. I feel like the catcher's instinct just overtook number 12 there as he came charging off of the mound there, wanting to try to help find that ball that was up in the air behind the circle. As it stands, it'll stay 0-2. Swing and a miss, and the base was occupied. That's a strikeout, the 4th one of the day for De Leon.
Yeah, for those of you that are at home with less than 2 outs, if that runner strikes out and the ball hits the ground, he is not able to advance. Had there been 2 outs, he could have advanced, and the catcher would have had to throw to first.
Even with the bases loaded?
No, with 2 outs.
Uh-huh.
With 2 outs with the bases loaded, yes, you still have to go to first.
Chopper up the middle, tough play, and Henderson can't get there. 1 run is home. 2nd run is coming. It goes wide of Sanchez, and a 2nd run comes in. Cooper Feltz with the base hit to center, and he will advance on the throw. It's a single, 2 RBI, and an advance, and Denton takes the lead.
Yeah, that ball was perfectly placed right in between Henderson and Caber. Little bouncing ball right up the middle. Very difficult to defend.
Alden Armour, he'll take a swing.
That's in the gap.
That's to right center, and that's trouble. Another 2 runs are across as Armour clears the bases on an RBI double. Just like that, runs are no longer at a premium. At least for the Broncos, it is 5-1. Riker DeLong flew out to center field. I'm sure the Bowie faithful would love to see that here with 2 outs. Some good speedy running by Denton as well, forcing the issue on Turner out in center field, having to throw something perfect to stop that second run from scoring. Was not able to. And then that one to the gap brought in another 2.
This is the 9th batter this inning for the Broncos. It's out.
Sharply hit to first, bobbled. Now it's a foot race to first base. And he does get there for the very close. Bang, bang, 3 unassisted. De Leon finally gets out of the inning after a 5 spot is put on the board here in the 3rd. We're headed to the 4th now with the tables turned. It's 5-1 Broncos. We'll be back with more high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing right after this.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
Welcome back to live action here at Tiger Yard on the campus of Irving High School for this preseason tournament game, pre-district tournament game between the Bowie Volunteers and the Denton Broncos. Denton really broke out for some run production in that last half inning, taking a 5-1 lead into the top of the 4th. Volunteers will send their 2, 3, 4 batters to the plate. Kristen Uribe leading off, Henderson on deck, Ortega in the hole. First pitch from Andoga is in the virtual dirt at the plate for ball 1. All AstroTurf field here at Tiger Park. Beautiful little ballpark.
Pops, I see the W.T. White Longhorns.
It's hit the shortstop. Perez fields it across the diamond to Medina and makes the out. The 6-3 put out.
I imagine they're a little surprised that this ball game is at 1 o'clock and we're only now starting the 4th inning.
Yeah. The W.T. White team is named the Longhorns, is their nickname, and they're wearing burnt orange.
They have that orange with the white two-tone cap. It almost looks like for a minute there I was like, why is the University of Texas here? And I was like, oh, they're not.
First pitch to Isaiah Henderson, who got a double in his first at bat, is low for ball 1.
He's the only player in the Bowie lineup to record a base hit. And
that ball is hit to left field. Phelps is on his horse. It's over his head all the way to the wall. Henderson rounds first base and trots into second with a stand-up double.
Good piece of hitting by Henderson, sending that one to the wall. Phelps with a decent recovery playing it on the carom. If his throw had been a little more accurate, Henderson might have had to slide there, but as it stands, Bowie gets a man in scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Going to bring up Roman Ortega for his second at bat this afternoon. Grounded out to second in his first appearance. Henderson at second base getting a good lead. Second, he's getting a good lead off, and the first pitch home is a ball.
Yeah, he's going about the same distance as the shortstop Perez is standing at the shortstop spot. That way it's a foot race to the bag unless the second baseman DeLong tries to shade in behind him. But right now, he's playing a more traditional second base, almost shallow right field position.
Andoga took a look at Henderson leading off and stepped off the pitching rubber. Andoga set now. The 1-0 pitch home. Low for ball 2.
It's another one of those off speeders, and it just bottomed out a little bit before it crossed the plate. He needs a little bit more oomph on that release in order to get it across the knees.
Counts 2 balls and no strikes to Roman Ortega with a runner at second base in scoring position. Pitch from Andoga. Wide outside, ball 3. Ortega most likely will be taking all the way, forcing the pitcher Andoga to put one over the plate.
Bowie needs base runners, so yes, I would definitely put the bat on my shoulder and see if you can get aboard.
The 3-0, he swings and throws it out to second base. Henderson dives back in. Umpire out there called him safe. We do have 2 umpires now. We had one to get the game started.
We had 0 for about an hour.
Yeah, we did. Henderson gets back in safely with no problem. Andoga resets for the 3-0 pitch to Ortega. The delivery right down the pipe for strike 1, as we anticipated. Hitters count now for Ortega with that runner in scoring position out at second. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Henderson at second base on the stand-up double. That pitch is low and outside for ball 4. Talking about base runners. And there we go. Ortega takes the spot at first, and Isaiah Henderson stays at second. Jason Wheeler due up to bat. Flew out to center field his first at bat, and this will bring a visit from the assistant coach. Brings in his infield to have a conference here. Coach Crowdis talks to his new batter Wheeler during this little break in the action.
Assistant coaches for Coach Tompkins are Connor Dotson, Luke McDougall, and Colin Webb. So this is one of those 3. I imagine it's Coach Dotson. They usually put the varsity assistant first in that list. Pops, if you are Bowie here with 1 out, are you looking at a bunt to try to move both players into scoring position, or are you swinging away to see if you can score Henderson from second?
I'm anticipating going ahead and swinging away with Wheeler being in the 5th spot in the order. He's probably got some pop in his bat. To my mind, you minimize your options when you have 2 outs with those runners in scoring position. But we'll see what the coach has said. The ball is still dead, folks. The ball is still dead until batter steps in and the umpire puts play.
Good communication by the Bowie dugout, though, yelling back, and Henderson with the heads-up dive just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, don't take anything for granted. Now we're set and ready to go. First pitch to Wheeler. Swung on and looped into no man's land behind second base. The second baseman, DeLong, drifts over and makes the catch. Could have been called an infield fly rule. I didn't see any signal by the umpires. I don't think it went high enough for them to call that.
Probably not, but I think that loop was supposed to bloop into shallow center field,
Yeah.
and the wind caught it and made it catchable for DeLong.
2 outs now in the inning. That'll bring up the number 6 hitter, Josh Caber. Caber holding down second base today. Flew to shortstop last time. Fake to second base. Pitcher didn't even deliver the ball. Trying to keep Henderson honest out there. Bowie with 2 runners on. Pitch is that looping curveball, called for strike 1.
See, and it hangs on the inside for so long before it loops in that I understand why Caber would lay off of it, but you gotta time it and square up on those.
Delivery outside. Ball 1, count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good dig there by the catcher, Phoenix Oliver. If that one goes underneath his glove and skitters away, Henderson had enough of a lead that he would have tried to take third.
Great baseball name there, Phoenix Oliver. Like it. 1-1 pitch. Outside and skitters away from the catcher again, just slightly.
Still gets called a strike, though. Hits that outside part of the zone. Caber slaps himself on the helmet to try to get into the zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Caber. The pitch. Swung on and hit down the third base line. Just a foot foul. Just a foot.
That would have scored both. That was that looping curveball. He timed that one and squared up on it a little bit better.
Just a little bit out in front of it.
Just a little bit, but he had it.
Count remains 1 ball, 2. And the pitch. Outside, straight steal by Henderson.
Yeah, he was going on
May have been a hit and run.
But it was too far outside, and Caber decided to lay off of it.
Runners at the corners now with 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the batter. Delivery swung on and hit center field. Armour coming in, settles under it, and catches it for the 3rd out of the inning, putting the Bowie threat to bed.
A bit of a role reversal there as Bowie, a team that makes it as far as 3rd and cannot get home. We're headed to the 4th inning stretch, and it's presented by our friends at Taqueria Taco Express. They feature a wide, authentic menu that can solve any Mexican food craving. Order online to collect points you can redeem for free food or get 5 tacos and a large agua fresca on Taco Tuesdays for just $10. We'll be back with more high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com. If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Welcome back, fans, to baseball on a beautiful, sunny March 1st Saturday afternoon as the Bowie Volunteers are taking on the Denton Broncos. Denton 5, Bowie 1. Bowie had a little bit of a threat in that last half inning. Came up a little bit short for what they needed. First batter, Drake, up to the plate. That first pitch is a ball.
We think.
Pretty sure. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff batter, Jack Drake, playing right field today for the Broncos. Got a single and scored a run in that big inning they had last time at bat when they did bat around and put 5 runs on the board. That pitch on the outside corner called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Chase Robinson on deck, and that would take us back to the top of the order for Perez, who's in the hole. 1-2 pitch is inside for ball 2. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes on the first batter here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Broncos. Two delivery. In there for a called strike 3. Caught Drake looking on that one, and we register a backwards K on the scorebook for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Jace Robinson, the designated hitter for the Broncos today.
5th strikeout of the afternoon for De Leon as well.
Robinson bunted into a sac bunt play in the first at bat that led to the scoring barrage. Denton playing small ball.
Barrage, there's a word you don't hear that often.
First pitch low for a ball. 1-0 pitch here. Swung on and fouled off the catcher's helmet. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. De Leon comes set. And his windup, the 1-1 pitch. Umpire calls that one a strike. It was just enough in the zone in the lower right-hand corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. De Leon shakes off 2 signs from his catcher. Finds one he likes and nods. 1-2 delivery. Hat comes off, put a little bit extra oomph in that one. We had a pitcher for one of the teams we called last year that just about every pitch he threw, he lost his hat. We started a kind of a fun count. How many times will the pitcher lose his hat? 2-2 pitches fouled off over the first base dugout. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. De Leon winds. The 2-2 delivery. A little bit too far outside that time. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jace Robinson. De Leon winds in the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. His 2nd strikeout of the inning and the 2nd out.
It's a great recovery after the rough inning he had just an inning ago to record back-to-back Ks here in the 4th.
That'll take us back to the top of the Denton lineup. Derek Perez holding down shortstop for them this afternoon. Got 2 walks in his 2 appearances so far. Scored a run in that last inning when they went through the batting order. First pitch is outside for ball 1. 2 outs, nobody on here. Bowie defense much more in control of this half inning so far. 1-0 delivery. Swung on and hit to the left side. It looks like it's going to be curving foul. Volunteers giving chase, but it does hit about 20 feet foul down that left field line. Long strike 1. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. To the top of the order, Mr. Perez. De Leon gets a ball back after the foul. Comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Squared for a bunt, and it's going to be bunted foul down the 3rd base line. Perez trying to get a little advantage out of that left-handed batter's box, trying to bunt one to the left side and leg it out for a base hit, but to no avail.
Yeah, I tried to catch Christian Uribe, who's playing straight away at 3rd base, see if he could win that race.
Perez really crowding the plate here, right up on the inside edge of the batter's box. The 1-2 delivery outside for ball 1. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled to the left side over the 3rd base dugout. baseballs coming in from the dugout to replace those that are being fouled out. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wind and the 2-2 pitch. A little bit low that time, says the umpire. Count runs full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. De Leon finds one sign he likes, and the payoff pitch. Swung on and chopped down the first base side, foul. Perez getting out in front of that one, chopping it into his dugout. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Derek Perez. Swung on and hit out towards second base. Diving stop, but it gets just past him into right field. Caper dove for that ball, and it got just under his glove. Jason Wheeler has to field it and get it back in. Base hit for Perez there, puts a runner on with 2 outs. That'll bring up the number 2 hole hitter, Zachariah Groves. Groves hit into a double play in the first inning and a single in that 5-run third inning. First pitch is swung on and fouled over the first base dugout, strike 1. De Leon looking in for the sign, trying to find the right combination to keep the 0 on the board for this half inning. The delivery home is swung on and fouled again. That runs the count to 0-2 on the batter Groves. One more key pitch here from De Leon, and the balls will get out of the inning. De Leon toes the rubber. The runner at first, Perez, gets a decent lead off. We've seen De Leon check down over there several times during the ball game. The pitch home. Swung on, and it's going to go foul down the right field line. Count will remain 0-2. Diego Medina on deck for the Broncos, should he get the opportunity. De Leon comes set. Goes to first. Ortega applies the tag, but the runner is back safely. Oh, 0-2 count on the batter. And De Leon comes home. Runner takes off. Outside for a ball. Throw down to second. Goes all the way into center field.
Good recovery by Turner.
Runner now at second base in scoring position with a 1-ball, 2-strike count on the batter Groves.
Time called by the batter.
Zachariah Groves hanging in there with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And the delivery from De Leon.
Bowie faithful thought it looked good.
I think that one's been called a strike earlier in the ball game, but it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Battle here between pitcher and batter. 2-2 pitch is low and outside for ball 3.
And he's worked the count full. It's a good quality at bat by Groves.
Full count, 2 outs in the inning, 1 runner at second. Looking to strand him out there is De Leon. Set. Batter steps out, asking for a timeout that's granted by the home plate umpire. De Leon set, the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit out towards second base. Caber fields it cleanly, gets it to Ortega, and they do indeed get out of the inning with the 4-3 putout. Volunteers keep the goose egg on the board for that half inning. We're headed to the top of the 5th inning. This is Texas High School Baseball, brought to you by ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. For nearly a decade, we've been geeking out on IPC about our favorite nerdy things. We have a back catalog of over 350 episodes diving into sci-fi and fantasy stories like no one else. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
Fifth inning here at Tiger Yard. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, on the call for the final day of the Irving ISD tournament for the Bowie Volunteers. Their perfect 7-0 record is in doubt after the 5-run inning that the Broncos put up. Time for a little bit of a rally from the Vols. They've played well in tightly contested games before. One of our most recent broadcasts was a 3-2 win against the Nimitz Vikings on Thursday. We'll see if the designated visitors can do anything here, and it'll be Roberto De Leon leading things off to try to help his own cause here in the 5th inning.
You mentioned at the top of the game and during all the tap dancing we did waiting on the umpires that Bowie scores in bunches. We still have plenty of time here to do that very thing.
First pitch swinging will be fouled off by De Leon. Good eye signal is called from the fans in the stands. Pretty good contingent from both fan bases making the trip out on this Saturday. But we've had a pretty steady count of people tuning in online as well. If you become a subscriber to the channel, you can join the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in to today's broadcast. Strike is called as Andoga puts that one across the heart of the plate to his pitching counterpart. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. That one's too low, and De Leon works the count full. Payoff pitch. He'll put that one in play. It's a slow roller up the third baseline. It's going to be a tough play at first. The throw is wide, and De Leon is safe. If that throw had been on target, Pops, he might have been out. I'm inclined to have an error on the throw there. De Leon will reach on the E5, and he'll get a courtesy runner. Should be number 8. That's what I saw come out of the dugout there, Pops.
Yeah, you turned the wrong way.
You have the lineup card still. Should be Ryan Parker taking over at first base. Confirmed, that is a number 8. That is Parker running for De Leon. Left fielder Alex Rojas made contact, but it went straight up into the air and then into the glove of Phoenix Oliver in foul territory. Looking to square it up a little bit more here with the leadoff man aboard. Bunt to square it up for. It's back to the pitcher. His only play will be to first, and the runner advances on the sacrifice.
Perfectly executed bunt there. Did exactly what the Bowie offensive coaches were looking to do there.
The 1-3 sac BU will put Parker in scoring position for the designated hitter, Andrew Vega. If and when Vega makes his way aboard, top of the order in Turner in the on-deck circle. Looping curveball finds the zone. He's been attacking that left-hand side of the plate all day today, and so far it's been working for Andoga. The 0-1. That one's up in the air, but it's going to be playable. Swirling winds not a factor as the second baseman DeLong makes the catch. It's an F4 for Vega. And there's 2 away now for Jackson Turner. Hit by a pitch and scored the team's only run. Flew out to left in his last at-bat. Uribe, the next man up. There's actually an on-deck circle along the baselines here, and he's standing in it. As that first pitch is too low for ball 1. Andoga looks over his shoulder. Finds that left-hand side of the zone again. That's a strike. Righty hitters having trouble finding stuff on the wrists there. It's the right-hand side of the zone. My apologies. That one too low. It's my left. It's the plate's right. 2 balls and a strike now. Glance of Parker. Chopper up the middle. Charging at it is Perez. The throw is in time, says the field umpire. And Turner is retired, and the man in scoring position is left stranded. To the bottom of the 5th we go. It's still Denton 5, Bowie 1. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
New pitcher on the mound during the break, which is the sign of a change. The next time you need signs, banners, printed shirts, or other print materials, Eka Signs is the local printer to call. 817-617-2229 is the number, and tell them Zap sent you. Just a straight switch defensively, taking the mound for the Volunteers is number 4, Josh Kaber, and taking his place at second base will be number 12, Roberto De Leon. Kaber now on the mound for the Vols. De Leon takes his spot defensively at second. Pops De Leon recorded 6 strikeouts during his outing, but unfortunately also had that 5-run third inning that has so far proved the difference as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, everything else has been pretty clean throughout the ball game. I mean, 3 batters in the first inning, 4 batters in the second inning. 4 batters and 2 strikeouts in that bottom of the 4th. It was just that bottom of the 3rd inning that has proved to be challenging on the scoreboard for the Volunteers up to this point.
Crazy how one inning can change the shape of an entire ball game.
Yeah, because the same pitcher that pitched that bottom of 3rd came back and had a very good 4th inning in De Leon.
As it is, it'll be Caber coming in relief, and he'll be facing the 3, 4, 5 spots in the Bronco lineup, starting with Diego Medina, followed by Phoenix Oliver and Cooper Feltz. Caber with his pitching superstition toes the rubber. And the righty delivers either a late released fastball or a slider that was late released, but either way, doesn't make it all the way to home plate and will bounce in for ball 1. That one does find its way across and finds its way across the strike zone to bring it to 1-1. Next pitch is too low for ball number 2. 2-1 signals the ump. Dina with a single and a strikeout in his previous 2 appearances. As he takes a look at ball 3 here from the new pitcher, Caber.
Hitter's count here for the number 3 hole hitter. 3 balls and a strike.
Takes a cut here, and it'll go out. Wheeler was on his wheels trying to see if he could get anywhere near that, but it goes into that no man's land between the park and the structure to our right. Caber's next delivery. Way too high, and that's ball 4. That was over the head of the first baseman, who will occupy first base bag. Catcher, Phoenix Oliver. Walk and a strikeout in his 2 times facing De Leon. His first time facing Caber. Fouled up and out of play. Ortega went into foul territory to look at it, though.
Oliver made it as far as 3rd base in that bottom of the 2nd inning. Immediately after that, De Leon recorded 2 strikeouts and a fly to center field to get out of that inning.
That one's going to bounce away from Sanchez. And the wild pitch will move the runner. Medina now occupies second base for the Broncos. And now Coach Tompkins is going to call time up that third baseline and change Phoenix Oliver's approach at the plate. It's very possible that with a couple of strikes to work with, he may try to square up for a bunt.
Get that runner to third.
Move the runner to third base.
Get an insurance run. Small ball and insurance run if they can. Here, look for Oliver to square.
Caber goes way too high, jumping out of his crouch. Is Sanchez. And that moves the count to 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, that looping curveball never broke inside toward the plate. It just stayed high and over Oliver's head. Sanchez did a good job to corral it to keep that runner at second.
Swung on and swung through. That's a big strike. Caber needed that. Take a look at the runner at second. Diego Medina. And that one will get fouled straight back. Caber agrees on the sign, sends it home. And that's going to be on a rope. A nice snag by the left fielder playing it on the hop. Rojas almost lost it over his head. Oliver moves the runner anyways and makes it to first base himself. Single to left field for the left fielder, Cooper Feltz.
And still nobody out in this half inning.
Got a 2-run ribby on a single to center field in his last plate appearance. Advanced on the throw and ended up scoring himself during that 5-run third. This one's going to get away. Play will be at the plate, and here comes your insurance run, Pops.
Yep. Fortunate play there with the wild pitch getting past the catcher.
Oliver will advance to second, and it's a 6-1 advantage for Denton. Caber having some control issues. Sanchez having some adjustment issues, trying to catch up to where the ball ends up. Strike is issued here. In the air, headed for right field. Wheeler making the grab, and they will hold the runner at second as Henderson receives the relay.
Probably a wise move to hold that runner at third base in that situation. Second was on target to third. Finally have one out on the F9.
First pitch swinging, headed for center field. The runner may tag up on this one. It's a good grab by Turner. The throw to third base, not in time. Alden Armour flies out to center, but it does move Phoenix Oliver's runner over to third. That's number 18, Jacob Turner, back in as the courtesy runner.
I think the difference on the decision to throw there was that the right fielder on the previous play was charging towards the infield. On that play, the center fielder was moving away from the field, trying to catch up to that long fly ball. Had stop and turn abruptly, and that gave the runner a little more time to make it to third.
Riker DeLong squared up for a bunt, got a called strike. And Caber finds the zone there, and it's quickly 0-2. Caber fires the 0-2, swung on and missed. He gets a K, but Denton gets another run. Margin is now 6-1 in favor of the Broncos. We're headed to the 6th inning now here at Tiger Yard. Zach Ron, my Pops Doug, bringing you high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Welcome back to the top of the 6th inning here from Tiger Yard in Irving, Texas, on the campus of Irving High School. Volunteers coming to their at bat here in the top of the 6th, down 6-1 at this point in the ball game. They'll be sending their 2, 3, and 4 batters to the plate. Christian Uribe leading off, Isaiah Henderson on deck, and Roman Ortega in the hole. Jack Andoga on for his 6th inning of work, and his first pitch is a called strike 1. Uribe flied out to right field and grounded to short his 2 at-bats this afternoon. That curveball hits that outside corner for a called strike 2. It's quickly 0-2 on the leadoff batter here in the top of the 6th. Uribe holding down the hot corner for the Volunteer defense this afternoon. That pitch is outside. The catcher, Oliver, tried to frame that one, but the umpire was having nothing to do with it.
And Oliver nodded his head at his pitcher, saying that he liked that placement, but Uribe just fortunate enough to lay off of it.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and looped into left field. That's a fair ball. It's going down the corner into the coffin corner. Uribe rounds first, but he holds up there as the left fielder, Feltz, is able to get that ball back into the infield quickly. It's a good leadoff single for Christian Uribe.
Good piece of hitting, and Bowie has sent it that direction a few times today, but unfortunately it's always been on the left-hand side of that foul line. This time it stays fair, and Uribe finds his way aboard.
Oh, this is Coach Tompkins coming out, and he may have a hook in the hand.
Bit of a short leash for his pitcher, who's got a 5-run advantage. We'll see what happens.
Meeting on the mound, all the infielders come in to visit. Assistant coach comes out and talks to the umpire. We're still waiting for a signal. See if there's a pitching change in order. Conference continues on the mound.
He's lasted this long.
Yeah.
And when you're this deep into the tournament, you've exhausted several of your arms, most likely.
And he stays with Andoga.
It looks like he'll be staying out there. He may be talking about how to pitch to Isaiah Henderson, who is the only person who has seemed to have Andoga's number so far today. 2 for 2 with 2 doubles.
So with a runner at first after Uribe's single, that'll bring up Isaiah Henderson, shortstop. Had 2 doubles in his at-bats today. First pitch catches that outside corner with that curveball, strike 1. Uribe at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Volunteers seeing if they can string some hits together and put some run production on the board. 1 pitch is swung on a hit towards shortstop. Third baseman fields it, gets it to second, turns it around to first, and is safe at first base. The force out at second. And Uribe and Henderson will just trade spots. Set the count on the score bug, and that'll bring up Roman Ortega with 1 out in the inning, and now Henderson at first base. Ortega has grounded out to second and drawn a walk his 2 at-bats today. First pitch to him is swung on and missed for strike one.
He was trying to send that to the outfield, just couldn't connect.
And Doga comes set. The 0-1 pitch swung on and hit to the outfield.
Too high.
Too high as the left fielder Feltz is camped under it and makes the grab for the F7. And the second out of the inning. Henderson remains at first, and that'll bring up number 15, Jason Wheeler, the right fielder for the Volunteers, who has flown out both times he's been to the plate today. Whatever Coach Tompkins said to his starting pitcher seems to have settled him down. Runner goes. Henderson dives into second base, and he is safe as Isaiah Henderson on the stolen base. Great steal there.
With 2 outs, you don't have the opportunity for a bunt anymore, so you have to be a little more aggressive with your base running. Henderson, one of the better base runners on this Bowie team when it comes to stealing bases, and he gets in safely.
Strike called at the plate. The 0-1 pitch is outside for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike on the number 5 hole hitter, Jason Wheeler. Now with a runner in scoring position out at second base. And Doga takes a look at Henderson, takes another look, and comes home. Swung on and hit to the gap, but the third baseman ranges over and gets it. High throw to third. To first is safe. Not able to get the foot on the bag as Henderson goes over to third on the play, and Wheeler takes up position at first on the infield single. Well, maybe an error.
No, that's
an error on the third baseman.
That's an E5. He gets Wheeler if it's a clean throw. That throw pulled the first baseman Medina off the bag. So now the new pitcher, Josh Caver, digging in.
That ball's hit sharply down the third baseline, but foul just by a foot. Two outs in the inning with runners at the corners. Caber has flown out both times at bat today. This ball is lifted into center field. The center fielder drifts over his left and brings it in for the third out of the inning. The F8 will end the inning here.
Yeah, another
Let's
F8.
see, we're lining up to shake hands.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need to because we started so late. You played a full 6. You had several opportunities. You're pushing 2 o'clock. I think that makes sense. Final score in this one, Denton gets their 4th win of the year, and Bowie is handed their first loss of the season. 6-1 is the number that the Broncos get in this victory. They move to 4-2-2 on the season. Bowie still finishes a very impressive 4-1 on this tournament tirade. And there's always an opportunity for learning experiences in games like this. We're going to take a break and come back with the post-game show presented by John Wade Roofing at the conclusion of this very long broadcast we've had. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0319 or email orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Eka Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, ICA can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ICAsigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's IKAsigns.com/shop. ICA Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Final score on the final day of the Irving ISD tournament, 6-1 in favor of the Denton Broncos, and 5 of those came in the third inning. But otherwise, a very solid outing from Roberto De Leon. Pops, aside from a blip on the radar, he had 6 strikeouts and gave up very few hits outside of that one inning of trouble.
Well, and I think some credit is due to the pitcher for the Broncos, Jack Ndoga, who the coach came out and talked to him and asked him if he was tired as he pitched into the 6th inning. But he pretty much held the Volunteers in check all afternoon, with them just getting that 1 run in the 1st inning and then nothing from there on out.
Isaiah Henderson had himself a pretty good day. He reached base safely all 3 times he was at the plate, 2 doubles and an RBI. Doing everything he can, but he can't be a one-man show. The Bowie Volunteers, though, have had a really, really solid start to the season. They are 7-1 and still have another tournament left to play against some very tough competition next week. Unfortunately, Zap will not be able to have the staff to cover both Arlington and Bowie, but we will be back for the district home opener, which is just the week after next, so the delay between broadcasts will be very minimal, with the game against Grand Prairie on Tuesday the 11th being just 10 days away. So we're very excited and very proud to have been able to cover what we could here in Irving, being a little bit more local than the Plano tournament that's going to be taking place next week. But there's still a lot of really solid things to look forward to. We saw evidence of this team being able to score and score in bunches in previous games, including that 13-1 run rule of MacArthur just yesterday afternoon with Jot Holly on the call. So there is a lot of spark in their offense, and there is a lot of strength in their pitching staff. You just get to your 5th starting pitcher on a Saturday at noon first pitch, and sometimes this ends up being the result.
Yeah, they still have a great start to their season, a lot to look forward to. The coaches are telling them just that right now as they're huddled right outside the third base dugout. And, you know, these coaches are being very positive with them and saying, look, you don't anticipate in this long of a season to maintain a perfect record. And so this is a good time to refocus and get back in the zone and keep doing that good fundamental batting that they've been doing. I mean, we felt like they were in the game the entire time this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you just never knew when they were going to explode. And today they just ran into another pitcher that had them handcuffed a little bit. And the result is the first loss of the season, but there's 7 wins. That's the positive.
That is definitely a positive. To get this far into the season and only have 1 defeat at the expense of a team that, like you said, had a really solid outing on the mound and a solid outing defensively. It's nothing to hang your head about as they get ready for their next tournament and the next part of the season. Zap will be back to provide district coverage, but this is, I believe, going to do it for us here on this broadcast at Irving High School. The postgame show is presented by John Wade Roofing. John Sr. played for Arlington High and was the team MVP in 1976. He also played for TCU and UTA football, earning all conference honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in 1982 and never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy in the community that his company and his family has built. The next time your family has roofing needs, gutters, painting, solar, or more, call the family that does more at 817-265-5520. Pops, any final thoughts before we call it a weekend?
You know, I wanted to highlight one other thing that was a positive for the Bowie defense. That was the most beautiful double play that was turned early in the ball game.
It was.
And so they really have a lot to build on that they're already doing good. And so I'm looking forward to watching this Bowie team grow and continue to make their presence known in district action.
Well, if you couldn't tell, my voice was giving out a little bit towards the tail end of the game. I was turning the slider down in order to clear my throat and take a drink of water. This makes the 6th broadcast in just 3 days for yours truly, including a triple header on Thursday, 2 games yesterday, and then this one. 8 games that took place on the Zap Network covering both Arlington High and Bowie. We want to thank everybody who tuned into those ball games and helped make it possible, notably our sponsors, but also you, the viewer. Final score here in this one, Denton 6, Bowie 1. Medford Memorial Tournament is our next coverage here on the Zap Network for Arlington High. The next Bowie game is on the 11th, the home opener against Grand Prairie. Thank you so much for supporting local business and local broadcast by tuning in today. For my Pops Doug, I'm Zach Arnold, finally signing off for the weekend. Hope you all have a great Saturday and a great March, and we'll see you all again real soon.